So, as always, you will see me on the screen and you will be, as I'm speaking, you won't be seen. If you want to be hidden, you can go to your video and just blank yourself out there. So, thank you very much for attending last week. Hopefully, everyone has caught up on the Zoom call, on the replay in the Facebook group. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting in there and keeping the energy going and keeping it alive and feeding it, moving along with what's arising for you. So thank you so much. So welcome to week 2. And on my shoulder, it's mirrored this side, there he is, the little boy, the knave. So this is our exploration for this session, the archetype and the energy of the knave. So make sure you've got a pen and paper to hand. And I will just set myself up. Just bear with me one second. Okay. So to put my phone way out of the way. So this evening, as I said, we're exploring the archetype of the knave. And this week, I'm really inviting you to reflect on the qualities and lessons that are associated with this archetype, this character, this energetic that is the knave, who really embodies the energy of youthful curiosity, a sense of adventure, and the potential for mischief. And I really quite like that.
Oh, I think I'm taking your gummies now, so we don't have to put the meds out of the car.
Okay, could someone just mute Rachel, please? Thank you. So the knave encourages us to embrace new perspectives, so to look at things differently and to actually challenge the old, challenge the set ways, challenge the way things have always been, because they bring a new approach. They bring a new approach with fresh, untainted eyes, a bit like the eyes of a child, not a little child, but a little bit more grown up, but that fresh outlook. And during this week, you might find yourself facing moments of uncertainty or stepping into something unfamiliar. And that's where your intuition and creativity become your guiding lights. And that spontaneity, that's the word, spontaneity of youth that comes with the knave will really help see you through. So it's where we really honor and recognize the value of play, playfulness, lightness, and exploration in our own growth. Now, many of us as adults have let that go. You know, when were you last playful? When were you last completely light and carefree? Questions for me as well as you. So this week, as we journey through it, I want you to consider the ways in which the knave reflects the parts of you that actually really long for freedom. Freedom, discovery, adventure. And I can remember, feeling that about the age, probably age 9, something like that. Just, I can just pack my bag and go off and go anywhere and do anything. Just that childlike, complete trust in the world, in everyone and everything. So I'm going to invite you to take time to connect to that light-sided part of yourself and allow that energy to help you navigate any challenges ahead with that sense of joy and the eyes of a child, that wonder. So hopefully by the end of this week, you might have gained a few more insights and a different way adapting to the face of change. So this knave archetype is also known as the rogue, the trickster, the fool. So you've probably heard of those before. And they're very much a multifaceted, energetic figure presented in mythology, literature and psychology. And the knave embodies both those light and shadow aspects of human nature, really characterized by cunning, wit, adaptability, and what I really love, the rebellious spirit. So the knave archetype really challenges social norms. The knave follows and makes up their own rules and often operates on the fringe of society, not mainstream. So I'm going to share the PowerPoint with you. Where are we? Here we go. And let's bring this on. Here we go. Share. Can I just have a thumbs up? I can't actually see anyone. It's funny, Reggie, you know, I was said to you earlier, oh, I'd like to get rid of that box, and I have. I can see you now. Can you just give me a thumbs up if you can see the PowerPoint? Thank you so much. Okay. So here we have the little boy, the knave, week 1. And this is what I've been talking about, embracing his energy of curiosity, adventure, and mischief, and inviting you to embody this youthful curiosity, spontaneity, playfulness, and see if you can challenge some old habits and see the world from a fresh perspective. So the knave's journey is facing uncertainty and stepping into unfamiliar territory. And I've already just touched on this really. It's trusting in your intuition and creativity and embrace that spontaneity to navigate challenges. This is the important bit, with joy in your life, with joy in your energy. I love this picture. So, as in all aspects and archetypes, there are a light side and a dark side. Neither is good or bad, they just are, but it helps to understand them. So here we are, the light side of the knave. Look at that gorgeous picture. So whatever age you are, you can embody the energetics of the knave. And here he is. So the gifts are innovative thinking, bringing fresh ideas and new solutions. Being quick-witted, being sharp, but using humor and intellect to solve problems and navigate obstacles. The knaves are highly adaptable and they can bend in any particular way and thrive in these unprecedented situations. They actually embrace change. They like change. They like chaos. And quite often they are charismatic characters. As adults, they can influence others through their charm and their social intelligence. So is there anyone that you can think of, oh yeah, they carry the energy of the knave? Might be someone you know in your family, might be someone out on the world stage, but yeah, start to notice the types of energy people carry. So another defining trait of the knave is this rebellion, challenging authority and tradition and driving forward transformation. So this is where, do you remember kids always saying, why? Why? It's that challenging the status quo. They question the established order of things. Not just, oh, we're doing it just because it is. They want to know, why are we doing it? So this helps break down what's called the outdated systems and new ways can come. It creates space within groups, if you've got the energetic of a knave there, to actually look with fresh new ideas. And sometimes the gift of the knave here is this rebellious nature can actually lead to transformation, which is good. So approaching things with this playfulness, with humor and lightheartedness is absolutely magic. So people who carry that as an adult are a joy and a delight to be with. So I seem to have not written about the darker side. That's interesting. So I'll just share with you. So just pause for a moment. So all those positive, lighter traits, there's also a darker side to the knave that I'm sure you've all either experienced in adults in this archetype or with young children, teenagers themselves. And the biggest one is their cunning that can be deceptive. They may lie, they may cheat, and they may manipulate others to get exactly what they want, often completely disregarding any boundaries or any consequences for their action. So they can also be totally irresponsible, avoiding commitments, living in the moment without concern for anybody else. They don't take self-responsibility seriously at all. And their rebelliousness may manifest as a refusal to be accountable. They have a very self-serving nature. And this has led them to really use their charms, use their wit, but for their own personal gain at the expense of others. So this is when we're in the shadow with them. And this particular behavior might bring in exploitation, betrayal, or manipulation, all completely driven by their own selfish desires. And in the shadow, in this darkness, the knave constantly seeks novelty, change, excitement, and becomes restless and impulsive and reactive. They get bored with routine. They get bored so much that they start to make reckless decisions and don't consider the consequences at all. So whilst as an adult, the knave can have the potential for bringing positive change at work, they may also be extremely disruptive. Oh, don't know what I was doing on there. They might be extremely disruptive. Hmm. Their tendency in life is to seek out new adventures or distract others and create instability in their own personal life and professional life. So, like all of the archetypes, the knave is on a range, is on a spectrum. In its light aspect, its creativity, adaptability, and the power to challenge and be rebellious for the good change in life. But in the shadow side, manipulation, irresponsible, and chaotic. So helping to understand both sides and how they appear in ourselves and in others can help navigate through relationships, through community, family, and work. So is there anyone coming to mind as I share that? Just have a feel into that. So what can we learn? So in partnerships, you can have a really witty knave archetype coming out, the wit of the soul, the dance of adaptability and change. A lot of people don't like change, but the knave does, being willing to change and to revolutionize that in love. With colleagues at work, sacred autonomy, divine innovation, charisma and heart, catalysts for sacred change. And this is a beautiful one, the energy of collaboration. So that's what we can learn from the knave. And what about throughout time? So the knaves in myths and stories. So I looked up quite a few for you. So in tongue around it, Norse mythology, we have Loki, who is mischievous, shape-shifting, rebellious, unpredictable. Loki's story He tries to trick the blind god Hodor. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. If not, please let me know. Hodr, Hodr, into killing his brother. He set off a chain of events leading to the end of the world in Norse mythology. Then we have the coyote in Native American mythology. So I'm sure many of you have probably come across and sat in circle, and there's always been someone who carries the energy of the coyote. Playful, chaotic, transformative, and a wise fool. So Coyote's story, Coyote tricked the sun into making the days longer. But in his arrogance, he ended up making it too long, causing unbearable heat. And from the West African mythology, Anansi. Here, cunning, wit, trickery, intelligence, and shape-shifting. And in his story, Anansi tricks the sky god into inviting him to share all the stories in the world, which he then later goes on to share with humanity. So it's not good to trick a god. And of course, Hermes. Hermes in the Greek mythology, the swift, the messenger, the thief, the guide, the mediator. So Hermes stole Apollo's cattle on the day of his birth and later gifted Apollo the lyre. He reconciled after his playful misdeed. So Hermes. And then a few more in our Celtic traditions. We have the Fool in the Arthurian legends and in the tarot too. So the Fool is actually wisdom in disguise. The Fool is a paradox, is humility and is insight. And the Fool, as many of you know, often speaks in riddles, in tricks, in words that don't really make sense, but they carry profound truths and can offer real clarity during critical moments, especially during the Arthurian quests. And then we have Puck from Shakespeare. Those of you who know your Shakespeare, he is carrying the traits of mischief, transformation, illusion, and playfulness. He has a series of humorous and chaotic events, such as turning Bottom's head into that of a donkey and making Titiana, the fairy queen, fall in love with him. And the last one that I'm sharing with you this evening is the Joker in traditional tarot. New beginnings, spontaneity, innocence, and trust. So the Joker has often been known as the Fool in tarot, represents the journey of growth, stepping into the unknown with trust, despite uncertainty and not having a clue where he's going. So those are there for you. I'll leave them up if you want to make a note of those. So I just invite you now. Let me just move the screen on. Oh, sorry. No, not that one yet. Just invite you now to close your eyes. I can just have a quick sip. Now, I wrote a piece for you that I'd like to share with you as an embodied voice of the Knave. So just get yourselves comfy. I'm going to take a few deep breaths. Yawn. Breath. Then to myself. So all those characteristics I invite in as I breathe. May I carry the voice of the Knave. I am the Knave, known by many names, yet I wear none. I am the trickster, I am the rebel, the one who bends the rules, and dances between the shadows and the light. I move with the wind, swift and untamed. My presence is felt where certainty falters and unpredictability reigns. I am the riddle that leaves you pondering, the laughter that echoes in the quiet moments, when you thought you knew the answers to life's questions. I am the playful spark of mischief that invites you to break free from the chains of conformity, to look beyond the surface and question what you think you really know. You may feel my presence, you may even think you see me. I am the crackling of energy that stirs in the air, the flicker of movement in the corner of your vision. But I am not easily captured, for I'm not meant to be. I am here to disrupt, to challenge, to teach. I hold the key to transformation, but it is not handed to you easily. You must earn it by embracing your own fears and stepping into chaos, stepping into the chaos that you might fear. I am the pathfinder for those who dare to take risks, to embrace the beauty of uncertainty. The answers are not always clear, but therein lies the gift, the journey itself. So take a breath in and feel my energy around you. It is playful, daring, and full of possibility. It might feel like a rush of excitement or the thrill of a challenge yet unmet. And when I step into your life, it's to show you you've become too rigid, too cautious. You have locked yourself away playing safe. Safe and familiar corners of your mind. What if you loosened your grip? What if you could breathe in the wildness and the freedom and the messiness of it all? What if you could both be light and shadow, joy and sorrow, chaos and order, fluid and free? What if? I am the part of you that seeks liberation from fear, from stagnation. I am the mirror that shows you the face of your own untapped potential. I am the spark that lights your fire and keeps it ablaze, and the energy that pushes you to face your discomfort, the uncertainty, and all the things you've hidden from. So I ask you, what are you waiting for? What parts of you are locked away? I offer to you now, this moment, this breath. Take it as an opening, an invitation as you breathe. Use it. But know in my shadows that I am the deceiver. I am the manipulator, the one who plays tricks for fun. In my gifts, I am the master of transformation. And I teach you how to navigate the unknown. I'm here to awaken you, to remind you you are not bound by the rules you have created for yourself, or ones imposed on you by family, community, structure of society. You are free. But first, you must embrace the unknown. Now just take a moment, take another breath, and feel me close. I am that wildness within you. I am that untamed spirit, the call to live your life fully, to play, to laugh, to break the chains and dance. This is your challenge. Will you rise to meet me? Will you trust in the chaos that holds your greatest transformation? I am the knave, and I walk with you always. So just pausing and noticing how you feel. What impact did the knave have upon you? Just take a moment or two to make a few notes. How are we all doing? Do you just want to pop in chat? How was it to feel the knave's energy? Or could you feel it from that embodied sharing? So let's have a quick look. Pop something in the chat. Thank you, Ivan. Yes, it's most of my personality. It's good to recognize oneself, isn't it? Yeah. Reggie, I recognize myself in some of it, but also resistance. Yeah. Thank you. I think there's a lot of one finger typing going on. It's the least of my personality. Interesting. Okay. We come back to that. Let's go back to the share. Anina. Resistance and familiar as well. Okay, so it feels like you've got an awareness of this particular archetypal energy already. It's not something new, either within yourself or within somebody else. Okay, let's see if I can find my PowerPoint's gone. There she is. Okay, share. Hmm, that's not what. My screen has suddenly decided to lock. There. Are we there? Yes, thank you. That was more by luck than judgment. Definitely had some trickster energy in there. So I'm now going to share with you the next piece of new work that will hopefully help us understand and explore more what I'm calling the shamanic way of the sword. Now, this overlays work done on the shamanic way of the womb as a symbolic map. Now, those of you who have done the apprenticeship with me for womb work will know there's the womb cross. So for the men, the symbol that seemed the obvious one for me is the sword. And thanks to Chris and Helen Bills, they're not on the call this evening, but thank you for Chris for the artwork and actually coming up with this design with the banner at the top and that beautiful sword he's drawn. So this shamanic way of the sword is a map, is a guideline for what we're calling the Grail gates. So in the womb work, it's the womb gates. And in the masculine work, it is the Grail gates. Now, look at the tip of the sword. It's got the number there, number 1. So this particular training is an introduction into the first 3 Grail gates. So I don't know if I can move 1, 2, 3, but there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 around the whole of the sword. So we're covering 3 because it's just an introduction, a taste, if you like. So this first gate, right at the tip of the sword here, is where the energies of the KNAVE are held. And we're going to be working with the sword and shields. Because of the Grail Knights, everyone can just see in their mind's eye, they do have a sword and they do have a shield. But obviously we cannot all go around carrying swords and shields in modern day society or to get arrested. But we're working with them as an energetic. When I first started doing this work, very much in the goddess temples, it was all, no, we mustn't have swords or knives or anything like that within the temple space. And when I really sit and feel into it, there's still very much a fear of weaponizing the symbology of swords because of all the wounding that's gone on. So for me, the sword is the symbolic map for the shamanic way of the sword, the shamanic way of the man. And it's there to really help us just focus on where they are in the flow of energy as we learn. So the shields, which we're going to be talking about and working with in a minute, the shields are more for protection, defending against physical harm, emotional harm, spiritual harm. So many of us here are practitioners of different sorts, healers of different sorts, and having some sort of energetic protection you're probably all very used to. But working with the Grail Knights, we are visualizing a shield, a shaped shield, and we're going to be working with that. We're going to be working with the identity and values of what it actually means to carry a sword and a shield. Basically, the virtues like honor, integrity, love, and courage, and what they represent regarding boundaries, the ability to set healthy boundaries. And the spiritual guidance overriding it all is really throughout time. The sword and the shield have been emblems of divine and spiritual protection, symbols of the gods and goddesses. Lots of goddesses had them as well. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is make sure you've got a piece of pen and a paper with you, because we're going to talk through creating your own personal sacred shield. So the example there on it's on my left, it might be on your right. So just draw that basic shape And there's different symbols on there that are meaningful to me. And we're going to go through a little guided, not a journey, just an inward reflection for this. So rather than doing it from a head space, we're going to do it from a feeling, felt, sense place. So for your shield, just close your eyes. Maybe just place your hands over your womb space or your hara and take a few deeper breaths. Just allowing the whole of the outside to drop away. And gently turn your focus inwards into yourself. And feel the weight of your body just sinking down. With each breath, you're becoming more and more present in the moment. Knowing you're ready to connect to your own inner wisdom and strength. So as you breathe now, just visualize a light surrounding you, a warm protective light, wrapping you and shielding you, cocooning you in safety and peace. It can take any form that feels right for you. A shimmering sphere, a rainbow, a bubble. So each breath, this light is pulsing, expanding in and out, part of your energetic field. This light is your protection, your safe space, surrounding you completely in love. In this peaceful, sacred space, you find yourself in an open landscape. And in front of you is a blacksmith's forge. It's a place of transformation, where something sacred is about to be created. The air is thick with energy, and the forge holds ancient wisdom and power. As you step forwards, you can feel the warmth, the heat, but also its deep energy. You gently place your hands over it, attuning to the energy of this place, filling you with a sense of purpose and why you are here. Why have you come to this forge? Knowing you have come to create your sacred shield. Before you, in your mind's eye, you see a shimmering shield form, taking shape, blank, waiting for your energy, your intentions, your visions, and your wisdom to be infused into it. Take a moment of quiet power. See this shield, waiting for your touch and vision. Take a deep breath. What do you need protection for in your life? What challenges are you currently facing? Are there any external threats? Visualize these as shadows or dark circles moving around you. And what internal struggles are going on What fears, doubts, old habits? See these struggles as energies that your shield will protect you from. With each breath, your shield takes more form, becomes stronger and more powerful, more capable of guarding and protecting you. What are the virtues that really matter to you? Courage, love, kindness, wisdom, integrity, whatever words arise. What do you really value? These are the building blocks of your shield, qualities that will adorn it. Allow any symbols, codes or glyphs to arise that represent these values. It might be a power animal, a guide that comes, that wants to be on your shield. Might be something from nature. Feel them being infused into your shield right now. Taking your time. There's no rush. Thinking now of the boundaries. All the times in your life you said yes when you meant no, or no when you meant yes. Visualize your boundaries now as glowing lines of light forming around you, strong and unyielding, protecting your space and energy. These boundaries are part of your shield, constant reminder of your right to protect yourself, to honor your needs, and to stay true to your path. Giving some space and time for any spiritual symbols to come through. You might feel the presence of an ancestor, an angel, a god, goddess, a divine force or being. Allow their energies to come into your shield, adding an extra layer of sacredness. As you breathe deeply, take a step back and look at your shield now. What does it look like? What colors and symbols adorn it? This shield is yours. Your values, your boundaries, your spiritual guidance, and your protection. It is solid, yielding, unyielding, and powerful. It is yours to carry with you always, to guard and protect you in all that you do. Stand before your sacred shield and place your hands upon it now. Allow its energy to merge with yours. With every breath, empowering your shield, knowing it is ready to protect you and guide you when you face any challenges on the path ahead. Let the energy of love and courage and peace flow through your shield into your being, knowing it will always be there for you. In your own time, use your breath. Knowing your shield is with you by your side whenever you need it. And slowly start to bring yourself back to full, deeper breaths. Bringing back with you the image you had. Your shield of protection. And when you're back enough, take your pen and draw your shield. Draw what you saw. I'll play some music for you. So let me know how you're doing, if you've finished drawing your shield or making notes for it. So if you've finished, could you just give me a thumbs up just so I can see? Thank you, Anina. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Alexandra. Rod, Ivan, how you doing, guys? Thank you. Ivan, how are you doing? Have you finished? All good, thank you. So it's not like school. I'm not going to say, hold up your picture. It's not going to be in show and tell. Unless you want to share in the Facebook group, you know, what came up for you. So is everybody back? Everybody in the room? Everyone good? Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Great. Okay, so I'm going to turn the music back off for now. Okay, here we are, back with the shield. So yeah, I hope you get a chance to do that again. Obviously be on the replay. You can do it more than once. So this particular shield, this is what came up for me. So the tree being the tree of life, anchored and rooted, and but also being that connection between the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. The Celtic symbol here at the bottom, looped in, that's there because of my roots, my connection to the land. The cross really came in. I thought, oh, do I really want the cross in there? But yes, the cross did want to be in there. So those of you who know the womb work, the womb cross, pre-Christian cross, and of course the heart, symbol for love. So those were the ones that came up for me when I did this myself earlier. So yeah, do share yours in the group if you want to. Love to see what you came up with. So yes, this is a very, I had a play creating a nave, a combination of all the different naves. And this is what, I can't remember which software I was in, but one of them. It was a little bit scary, I thought. I didn't particularly like the picture of it. But yeah, the Joker, the Fool, the Rebel, the mischievous one, all of those in there. You can definitely see that. But for me, in my mind's eye, it's much younger. The knave is much younger. This is a bit scary with the face paint on. Didn't quite like this one. So let's just see what's next after that one. Yeah. So before, what I'm going to do is record the journey for you. Oh, it's gone completely now. And share that in the group so you can listen to that at your leisure with beautiful music behind you. What I would like to do now is talk through some connections to this energy through some affirmations. And then we'll go into open up for a group sharing, and then we're going to go into our breakout rooms. Okay, so I'm just aware of the time. It's nearly 8:30. So I'm sure, have all of you come across affirmations before? Yeah. So they're a bit like mantras, a bit like repeating things and affirming things within your mind, your mouth, your speech, your energy field. And the more you repeat them, the more they go in, they feel real. So there's some affirmations for the knave. And again, I will share these with you in the Facebook. I'll type them up for you. And you can choose which ones you like. So I'm going to pick you a few out. So this is for embracing your creativity, which kids are fantastic at, you know, and adaptability, that. So if you're not particularly creative or adaptable, then these are probably the ones you need to work with. So I adapt easily to new situations. I adapt easily to new situations. So you can just repeat that after me. You're all on mute, so just say that and see how that feels. I adapt easily to new situations. Mm. I allow myself to be seen, knowing I am worthy of love and connection. Mm. I can be both clever and honest, using my wit to uplift rather than protect. Mm. So I've got about 20 of those for creativity and adaptability. So we're not going to go through all of those. So I've got overcoming fear of authority and trusting others, building trust, embracing responsibility. Oh, that's a bit scary one. I think I need to do that one. Embracing responsibility and commitment. Oh, that sounds heavy. This is a good one. I commit to projects and relationships without losing my sense of self. I commit to projects and relationships without losing my sense of self. That's a good one. Okay, let's find one more. For finding belonging and healing loneliness. Mm. Mm. I am worthy of connection, and I open my heart to others without fear. I am worthy of connection, and I open my heart to others without fear. Mm. So that's just a few. Some people love affirmations, some people hate them. So if they're not for you, just gloss on by. Gloss on by? Glide on by. You know what I mean. Okay, please feel free to unmute yourselves now. Let's just have a quick look. There's a few things. Rachel, we prefer to just be together tonight rather than go to breakout room. We're exhausted by family demands and don't have the energy to share today. No problem, Rachel. No problem at all, darling. So you can just stay in the main room. You won't be sent anywhere with anybody else. So there's not so many of us on the call this evening. So we could just stay together. Let's start off together. So those of you who want to be on video, it would be lovely to see you. I understand, Rachel and your beloved, if you're too knackered, stay as you are. Ivan, it'd be lovely to see your face if you're back in the room. And do we need a quick 5-minute pee break? Because I know you've been listening to me a lot. Would you like that? Would you like to nip and get a drink? Rod's nodding. Reg is nodding. Looks like it then. Okay, let's go for a quick pee break. See you in a minute.